He's dead, isn't he?
No. No, he isn't. He's regained consciousness and would like to see you, Jeremy. But he may not live through the night.
Well, I don't know what to say to him.
Well, you'll do okay. Now, before you go in, get a sterile gown from one of the nurses, okay?
All right. Thank you.
You said you don't know what to say.
I don't know.
Lance tried to kill you, as he did me. And there is no excuse for all the pain and suffering that he caused us. Or that he caused so many other people. But you are a believer.
Yeah, I'm a believer, Miriam, but it's what you said. He tried to kill us. I'm only human. I can't go in there like that.
I know. I understand that. But and what I'm going to ask you to say is not going to be easy, but I think it's the only thing you can do. You heard what Dr. Greeley said. He might not live. So you need to go in there and help him see that there is another life after this one. You're going to have to go in and forgive him. For your own sake, as much as his.
I don't think I can do that.
Wait, this not just be the last chance you ever have to speak to him.
Oh, we got the Dar es Salaam Bible safely back at the museum in the vault. Let's just hope that you can recover your $1.2 million.
You know, if we don't come together on some kind of agreement before she leaves the country, what do you want to bet she gives me a call from Doria? It's okay, I'm in no rush. I can wait till she gets back to her own country, feel safe. Besides, I could always go to Doria if I had to.
Well, I'm afraid you'd say something like that.
Well, it's true.
It's also true that right here in Kingsley, on our own turf, with everything going for us, we couldn't do that job properly. What makes you think in Doria, in a foreign country, that you're going to take $1 million Bible in there and get out again safely without that thing being stolen again?
Maybe.
Well, God forbid if we have to go to Doria, I'm not about to let you go.
You know, somehow, Harold, I don't think that you have very much confidence in me.
Let's just say I credit you with more youthful endeavor than learned insight.
Yeah, well, what if I told you we didn't have to deal with the princess at all?
What are you talking about? She's the only person in the world willing to give you the bucks you want for that thing. Nobody else, including me, understands why the bidding even went over 25 grand.
I do. She's willing to pay so much for that because she's already lined up another buyer for it. Somebody else knows what that Bible is really worth, Harold. And somebody else wants that Bible a lot more than she does. She's no dummy. She's willing to pay more for it because she knows she's going to get more from the other person. Harold, why don't we contact that other person, skip the princess altogether?
I take back what I said about youthful endeavor. You just cornered the market on stupid.
Oh, come on now, Harold.
Don't come on now, Harold me.
Look, you admit that the princess can't be trusted, right?
You bet.
So, well, if she's going to act as the middleman for someone else, hey, why don't we get a little more profit and deal directly with that person ourselves? Makes sense.
If I didn't know the profit from this was going to the clinic, I'd think you'd been overcome by greed.
Sure, I want to help out Dave, and I want to help out Ben, and I want to help out the clinic, and I am. There's money going to them, plenty of money going to them. I don't have any objections about coming out a little bit ahead.
Well, I do, especially if it means having to deal with somebody that could be less scrupulous and more dangerous than the princess.
Harold, you're just nothing but a good old conservative boy, you know that? John, come on in, join the celebration. Harold, give him a cookie.
That's all right, really. Don't worry about it. I don't think you're going to feel much like celebrating when you find out why I'm here. I'm afraid I got some bad news for you, Russ.
You finally outsmarted me, didn't you, Mama's boy?
Don't talk if it hurts.
Don't worry. I can take just as much pain as I can give out.
Is that why you called me in here? You want to talk to me like that?
You think Miriam loved you, don't you?
Lance, I don't want to talk about this kind of thing now.
I had her first. That's the truth. Everybody will deny it, but I did. She's scum.
That scum you're talking about is praying for you outside right now.
Yeah, right. Just the way she used to read the Bible to Blue Nobles. I know all about it.
Well, maybe Blue wasn't so dumb. Maybe there is life after death, Lance.
Listen, I got a little deal worked out with God. He don't bug me, and I don't bug him.
God doesn't make deals, Lance. Now, you either believe him, or you're going to face the consequences.
Well, then I'll face the consequences. I'm gonna tell you this. You know what I can't stand about you? You always thought you were so good and right. You try to act that way. And you fool just about everybody, including Mother. But you never fooled me. Not for a second. You know that? You're the exact same as me on the inside and the outside. The only difference between you and me is that you know what's in there, and you act like it doesn't exist. So you can take your God and you can...
No, Lance. No, Lance. Nurse! Nurse!
Code blue, nurse, code blue.
That guy you decked at the revival tent, it wasn't Lance.
What are you talking about? That guy had a gun.
Which Lance so skillfully let him have. You see, once you decked the real Jeremy, Lance had absolutely no problem putting on those glasses, even pretending he was sick at the ordeal. Miriam even believed him.
Well, what about the cop that followed Miriam and Jeremy back to the museum?
Lance tricked him too while we were taking Jeremy down to the station.
I don't believe this.
Jeremy finally convinced me who he was, but it was too late. Lance already took off with a Bible and Miriam as a hostage. We finally captured him, but not before the Bible was destroyed.
I think I'm going to be sick.
What do you mean the Bible was destroyed, John?
Lance didn't have a chance to negotiate with the princes because Jeremy found out from Paula where he was and his beat-up old boat down in the harbor. He got out there before we did. He and Lance fought, knocked over some lantern, and the boat was up in flames, and by the time we got there, Jeremy was lucky to get Miriam out of there alive.
And Lance?
He's in Kingsley General. He's got burns over 70% of his body, and the doctors don't think he's got a very good chance.
The Bible been reduced to nothing but a pile of ashes.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah, well, Lance should be nothing but a pile of ashes, and you should have saved that Bible.
I'm sorry. I know what a loss this is for you.
You're sorry. Well, I hope he dies.
I know how you feel. If there's anything I can do for you, I'm at the station.
Okay, John. We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Code blue, 240, room 240.
Jeremy, have to leave. Nurse, get the crash squad ready.
The defibrillators ready, doctor.
There are no vitals.
What happened?
I tried to talk to him, Miriam. You didn't have any remorse.
I'm sorry, you'll have to leave.
Oh, no, it's all right. Dr. Greeley said it was okay. He really did.
Very well. I'll leave you alone.
Thank you. You didn't ask for forgiveness, Lance, but I forgive you. I'm not going to hate you. I don't hate you, and I won't despise you, regardless of the way you want me to. I don't. I forgive you, Lance. And Miriam forgives you. God forgive you.
And Jeremy tried to reach out to him. He tried to get him to make peace with God. But it sounded like it was just so awful. I just don't understand how anybody can live with themselves with so much hate, even to their very last dying breath. Oh, Terry. Jeremy risked his life for me. The very man that I rejected so unfairly for so long in the beginning. He proves that he's probably the most sensitive, bravest man I've ever known.
Now that Lance is gone, maybe you can truly see Jeremy for who he is.
I think I've done that for some time now. But I've still been afraid. I'm not afraid that he's like Lance, but I guess I'm just afraid of how I really feel about Jeremy. Because I think maybe I'm in love with him.
Miriam, that's wonderful.
Really? Do you really think so?
Yes, I think he's a wonderful young man.
You know, until I met him, I don't think I'd ever had an honest relationship with a man. Because I was always having to manufacture the feelings. And then I would have to lie about almost everything I ever said to protect those manufactured feelings.
Well, that's all in the past now. You can let go of that. When you became a Christian, you let go of all of those feelings, all those manufactured feelings. Now you can be yourself with Jeremy.
Well, I'd like to think so.
Then do. You know something else? I think he wants to be himself with you, too.
Really? How do you know that?
Well, it's pretty obvious in the way you two have been acting the last few weeks.
Really?
Really?
Just wondering if this is the right time to be honest.
It's always the right time to be honest. Just be yourself with him in his grief, as you are in his joy.
Yes, is Dr. Brian Graham in, please? I see. No, I don't want to leave a message. Oh, wait. Yeah, on second thought, I would. This is Dr. Ben Martin. Would you tell Brian that I'm going to make a reservation for the two of us at the Greenbrier Restaurant tomorrow at 12:30? And what I'll do... Yes, that's Dr. Ben Martin. Thank you very much.
You should know better than to try and get Brian at this hour. He goes out just about every night.
Oh, yeah, the vicissitudes of single life.
That's enough kind of talk like that. No nostalgia about the good old days allowed around here. It's detrimental to growing marriages.
Well, that depends on how difficult the vicissitudes were when you were single.
Well, if you want to remember the lonely nights, and the TV dinners, and the anguish of doing your laundry alone, then I guess I'll let you reminisce.
Gotcha.
Want a snack or something? It might help you go to sleep.
You trying to get me to put on weight, huh?
What, are you trying to make me feel guilty?
Me, never.
So what did you call Brian for?
No reason, really.
Is that why you snuck out to make the call?
I made the call because I couldn't sleep.
Is that all?
That's all.
Considering that we've come to terms about you leaving the clinic,
Yes?
and considering that you've agreed to look for a job somewhat closer to Kingsley,
Laurie, do you really think this is the time to go into all this?
could it be possible that you are exploring the opportunities of employment with Brian?
Why didn't you just stay asleep?
Because my bed suddenly got very lonely.
Well, don't let your loneliness cause you to read all sorts of crazy things into an innocent phone call. Brian is a good friend. I thought we just might get together tomorrow for lunch.
Okay, I'll buy that. Hey, I'm glad that you opened up to me earlier. I'm glad that you shared with me the pressures that you felt at the clinic.
I'm glad you were here to listen to me.
Me too. Look, I know that things are really difficult for us now. But Ben, I don't want anything to get between us ever. Not family, not job, nothing.
It won't. As long as we're honest with one another.
Jeremy, where are you going?
I don't know where I don't know.
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
It's all right. I don't think many people are going to miss him anyway.
Well, you will.
Yeah, I will. It's kind of strange, isn't it? I mean, if I would have been the one, I think he'd probably be dancing on my grave right now. But I can't get him out of me. And I feel a real strong attachment to him inside, you understand? I think we better go.
You want me to drive you home?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really don't want to be alone.
Vaughn, what are you doing?
Hi, Courtney. How's it going? Say, this is Maria. Knockout, isn't
And
she?
what is this? Some kind of joke?
I don't think so, huh? I just stopped by to tell you that no more problem. I'm a whole man. Whole man again. No more impotence for me. Just took the right woman.
No, that is a lie. That's a lie because you didn't respond to me because deep down I didn't want you to respond. I love Peter.
Peter, I'm glad you brought him up. Let's bring him in.
Mr. Sumner.
Mr. Davidson.
Second.
Peter, tell him that you love me. No, it's true. You know how much I love you. Now tell him.
Hey, look, I tried to pretend. I just can't anymore. You said you loved me, but you married him? I don't know. I think someone as double-minded as that should live with their choice.
No.
Am I right? Huh? Right. All right.
Vaughn! Peter, come back! I love you. You love me! Come back, both of you! Oh.
Hey, at least you don't have to worry about me going off to Dorian to negotiate my own deal, do you?
I think you're being a little hard on yourself.
Did you ever lose $1.2 million, Harold?
No.
Yeah. That money was gonna be used for something good, too. What a joke. You know, it's really funny. Maybe it's because Vince's money that I inherited came from all the garbage of the world. Maybe God, I don't know, maybe God used the Dar es Salaam Bible to get rid of all that money, huh?
Hey, look, why don't you come on with me over to Terry's and we'll talk to her and Dave about your attitude about God.
Nah, that's okay, that's okay. Ben's talked to me enough times it is already about my attitudes towards God. He thinks I'm wrong, I know I'm right. Hey, Harold, it's okay, don't worry, I'm gonna be just fine, okay?
Sure?
Sure, I'm gonna be fine.
Okay. Hey, look, you got my telephone number at home, right?
Oh, yeah.
You give me a call if you need anything.